One look at the final standings. UCLA the champion, just their second time ever, and twice here at Pauley Pavilion. The last time back in 1984 when this young man was a freshman on the team, and despite his problem there on the floor, he rebounded beautifully to score 2 9.9s, including this one on the parallel bars. Tony Pineda leading UCLA to the championship, and he's now down on the floor with our Bart Connor.
Tony Pineda, what a day. We said right at the top of the show that you were a key performer. If you were on, UCLA was on. How did you feel about handling the pressure of carrying your team?
I feel great after the whole thing is over. It was kind of tough for me because throughout the season I had a really hard time trying to get my mind focused on the meets. But this time I thought, you know, might as well just give it all I got, and that's what I did.
You know, you went for the layout double at the dismount on floor exercise. I criticized that because I thought it was an unnecessary risk. How did you feel about cutting the big move there?
Well, my coach thought that if the guys all hit floor, he told me to go for it. I have done it before in different meets, and it was fine. But this time, I guess I couldn't handle the pressure, and at the time, I don't know what I did. All of a sudden, I found myself on the ground.
We were a little bit worried about you coming back from there, but the rest of the meet was hot for you.
Yeah, I had to because the team had to be strong, and if they see me fail, it will be hard for them, too. So I pushed myself to the limit, and I just go out there and hit.
Well, congratulations. You better go collect your trophy.
Thanks a lot.
All right, Bart, a happy UCLA Bruins crowd acknowledging the championship of their Bruins here right in Pauley Pavilion. The 1987 NCAA Men's Gymnastics Champions. Well, we'll be back with a look at the individual competition and the all-arounds. Right now, let's go to Salt Lake for the women's event. Ann Butler and Kathy Johnson.
We're in Salt Lake City, where 12 schools have earned the right to compete in this 1987 NCAA Women's Gymnastics Championships. And the top 6 seeds go head-to-head in a single session. They are UCLA, Alabama, Utah, Arizona State, Georgia, and Florida. And they'll be competing in these 4 different events: the vault, uneven parallel bars, balance beam, and floor exercise. And in the first rotation, it's Georgia on the vault, Alabama on bars, Florida on the balance beam, and Arizona State on the floor. And both UCLA and Utah are standing by. And Kathy Johnson, what's it like to have to wait to compete, to take a bye right off the bat?
Personally, I never like sitting out taking a bye. You start thinking too much. I like to just get going and keep it going.
So while Utah and UCLA sit, first up on the floor, Marika Lesueur from Arizona State.
And she opens with a triple twist. That's a very difficult tumbling pass, and she did it quite well.
This is ASU's 7th straight appearance here at Nationals. They've never won a team title, but they've placed in the top 5 every year, and they were last year's runner-ups.
Here's her middle tumbling run, a double twist.
Now there in the background you see Gina Banyalis from Georgia sprinting down the vault runway. All 4 events are going on at the same time here in the arena, so we'll be going back and forth.
Marika's performing quite well. She has a little trouble with her feet. I'd like to see more extension in the toe point.
Interestingly enough, Marika is back in her hometown of Salt Lake City. This is where she went to high school.
Preparing for her last tumbling run. Round off, whip over, 2 back handsprings to a full twist. She could have been a little higher on that full twist. Overall, a steady performance.
Arizona State freshman Marika Lesueur, one of the most talented newcomers here at Nationals. Kathy, should she be proud of that performance?
I believe so, especially starting with the triple twist. Now, this is her last tumbling run. Round off, whip over, or called an alternate pass, through to a layout with a full twist. Now, notice she had to pike down a little bit, lacked a little height.
And a 9.4 for Marika Lesueur from Arizona State. And here's Gina Banyalis with Georgia coach Suzanne Yocklin taking a look at her 9.55 vault score.
We'll look at her first of the 2 vaults, and in vaulting you're allowed to do 2 vaults, the best score counting. This was her best vault, Sukahara, with a full twist in the tuck position. Beautiful landing.
All right, next up on the uneven parallel bars, Marie Robbins, University of Alabama freshman.
Marie's quite strong on this event. She has excellent form. It's a giant swing. Right into a reverse heck. Well done. Drops to the low bar. She moves quite well from bar to bar. Free hip to handstand. Another giant swing. And a tuck double flyaway.
Boy, she really sticks that landing, doesn't she?
A lot of good work in that bar routine. Let's take another look. This big release move, it's called a reverse hecht or tkachev. She flies backwards over the bar and regrasp. We're starting to see a lot of these big tricks now in collegiate gymnastics, and it's really exciting.
So Alabama is off to a great start as Marie Robbins turns in a 9.55 on the uneven bars. And after this first rotation of competition, Georgia's off to an early lead, but just 0.05 of a point behind is the Crimson Tide and then Arizona State. Hello once again, everybody. I'm Ann Butler, and joining me today is Kathy Johnson, 1984 Olympic silver and bronze medalist and captain of the women's gymnastics team. And Kathy, you know, during this first rotation today, both Utah and UCLA have been on bye, so we're still waiting to see them perform, the two pivotal teams of this championship.
Because of the strength and tradition of the Utah gymnasts, they're really expected to win a 7th straight national title. However, UCLA is the favorite. Arizona State has beaten Utah twice, and we have 3 very strong teams from the Southeastern Conference. So it's still wide open. But I'd like to go out on the limb and say I think it's still going to be a battle between UCLA and Utah.
Well, speaking of battles, Kathy, as you know, UCLA was here in Utah just a couple of months ago and turned in what was frankly an embarrassing performance. But when we spoke with Bruin coach Jerry Tomlinson, he was very encouraged, and he said that since that disastrous day here in Utah, the whole team has developed a brand new attitude.
That big stumble was just like the bottom falling out of a bucket to them. They came back and said, what happened? And they really had no clue. The team now, I can feel a lot more confidence coming from them. A lot of the reporters this weekend have been telling me their kids sure seem relaxed. Oh, good, you know, that's a first.
Well, right now, Coach Tomlinson is anything but relaxed as his Bruins and the champion Utes prepare for action when we return.
This CBS Sports Saturday special edition is sponsored by Michelob. So exceptionally smooth, the night belongs to Michelob. Ryder, we're there at every turn. And by the American Express card. Don't leave home without it.
Salt Lake Country, region of breathtaking natural beauty and home of champions. But right downtown in their own backyard, there seems to be some confusion. Just who are the unbeatable Lady Utes?
Well, it's something to do with sports, but I don't know anything about it.
A basketball team?
And unbeatable what?
Boy, you got me. I don't know.
What are they? I don't know.
Well, if the bus driver didn't know who they are, maybe he can take us where they are. Just follow the arrows. Make a left at the falls, and you're right smack in the middle of it. Lady Ute territory.
The gymnastics team, of course.
The gymnasts. Oh, they're the University of Utah gymnastics team. They're #1.
All right.
Recognition at last, but just so you know,
we're the Lady Utes. We've won 6 national championships, and we're going for our 7th. We can be beat, but it'll be tough.
We're not gonna let it.
once more, all together now, who are the unbeatable Lady Utes? Well, there's a man who knows the Utes certainly better than anybody else. He's head coach Greg Marsden, under pressure right now to win an incredible 7th straight title. So once again, after the first rotation, Georgia off to an early lead. And as the second round gets underway, we'll see UCLA on the vault, Georgia on the bars, Utah on the beam, and Florida on the floor. And first, on the vault for UCLA, Kim Hamilton, who's a freshman.
This is a great event for UCLA to start out on. We've got a lot of potential high scores here. Kim's doing a handspring front, great landing. Good height on the vault as well.
Once again, the best of 2 vault scores will count. Right?
That's correct.
And a 9.5 on the vault for Kim Hamilton of UCLA. On the beam, Chris Takahashi for Utah, who's also a freshman.
She's one of their top all-arounders, but she did have an ankle injury a few weeks ago that she might be babying a little bit.
You know, Kathy, Chris isn't intimidated by the tradition of excellence here at Utah. She just says she's going to go out and do her job.
Well, that's definitely the right attitude to have. Look at the flexibility she's showing here. Now, you got to remember that 6 girls compete for the team. Only 5 scores count, so they do have that one routine that there could be a break in, but then the rest count. It's a full twisting dismount. Good, solid routine.
Chris Takahashi of Utah. You think they'll keep that one?
It all depends. It was a good, solid routine. There wasn't that much difficulty in the routine. But it's sure good to start off with one like this.
And her score, a 9.4. Not bad right off the bat. And on the bars, Lucy Weiner for Georgia.
This is a great event for Lucy. She's been one of our country's best on this event. In fact, she was a member of our 1984 Olympic team, but suffered 2 knee injuries, actually, that kept her out of the competition. She's moving quite well. Look at that move. Straddle vault over, and she catches in an eagle grip. Cast to handstand, toe on to handstand, toe on front with a half dismount. Beautiful landing.
The Georgia fans here in Utah love it.
Dynamite routine. She really has beautiful, effortless swing, and she's known for her innovative moves, like this one. Straddle vault over, catches an eagle grip, and straddles back over the low bar. I've only seen one other gymnast perform that skill.
All right, now Lucy's got an injured ankle, Kathy. Let's see how it affects her dismount.
Really shouldn't affect the dismount. It's a front with a half. She spots the landing, and it's perfect. Unfortunately, it will take her out of 2 other events, and I think Georgia could miss her on those 2 events.
But right now for Georgia, Lucy Weiner turns in a big 9.7 on the uneven parallel bars. Super performance. Meanwhile, already over on balance beam is Lynn Lederer for Utah. She's a junior.
It's an aerial walkover.
Is that a moonwalk?
It shows you can have a little bit of fun with your audience, even when the competition is as intense as it is right now. Speaking of intensity, this is usually where Utah takes advantage of their competition. They're very mentally tough on this event. They're just not going to give anything away.
She looks real confident.
She's moved very steady so far. Setting up for a dismount. It's a time warning bell, meaning 5 seconds to dismount. Round of double twist and a good landing.
Lynn Lederer with that Mary Lou Retton smile is a real crowd pleaser here in Utah. And while we're waiting for her score, let's go over and look at Tanya Service, UCLA sophomore, on the vault.
Now, in a team competition this close, every 10th is precious, so we're looking at good, strong landings. It's a Sukahara with a full twist, good landing.
Let's go back and check in with Lynn Lederer, who's just received her score, a 9.5 on the beam for Utah. That's got to be a real confidence builder right now for the Utes, who are looking for their 7th straight title.
The thing that's been good about this team, though, is whenever we've had a big competition, they have seemed to rise to the occasion this year, as teams have in the past. But the national championship is always a unique experience. It's not like any other meet during the year, and so you never know how they're going to respond until you get there.
So Coach Marsden and the Utes are really giving this crowd something to cheer about here in Salt Lake City. And after 2 rotations, Georgia's in the lead, but with a 9.55 performance on the vault by Tanya Service, UCLA is off to a good start. And we'll be back after this message and a word from your local stations.
Burns so fiercely that when it's over, nothing's left but the tears and the pride